everybody, this is Patty from Forever Moments Designs. I'm coming to you with a project using Martha at Birdandbarndesigns digital kit called Soufflé De Dentelle. Um, it's a huge kit. It's beautiful. So she has landscape papers. She has two types of tall and skinny papers. Um, These are all the landscape. So there's the vintage, and then there's regular. There's just, oh my gosh. You have to, oh, it's beautiful. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And then she has like the tall, oh, look at how beautiful that clock is. I'm not going to go through because I have a project to share, so I'm just showing you some of the paper. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's so beautiful. And the birds. The bird, I should say. And just some lace and ruffles. It is full of pearls. It is full of cameos. Just stunning. It's a stunner. Roses. Just a quick, let's see, oh, there's one of her dress forms. So pretty. Lots of pearls and roses. Just beautiful. Look at that one. Just stunning. And then she also has background pages, which has just some plain, like lace, some lace ones, some kind of Baroque-ish patterns. More lace. Very muted, very soft, so beautiful. They're so pretty. Look at this Baroque. Oh, pearls. And then her fussy cuts, you get 4 pages. Let me take my little, that's to remind me. And you get the spools and the pearls and dresses and this like ruffled cakes. Look at these ruffled cakes and the dresses. Oh. And then the ephemera, you get 17 pages. They're just beautiful. All of them. You have like tags and all kinds of, and these are gorgeous. Oh, some spools of lace, belly bands, more spools, more ruffled cakes. Oh my gosh, these ruffled cakes, they're to die for. They're so gorgeous. And excuse all the noise, I live on a busy road, so there's lots of traffic. The gloves with the roses, the heart pillows, the trims, oh, the lace spools, the women in dresses. Oops, can't get that one. Okay. Little, foldable journal cards and some words and more lace spools. So, I made a fantastic project to share with you. I made a journal, and she has a big ruffled wrap, and this came from an old wedding dress that I had taken apart, and I just added some an applique, and I sewed some trim on. So let me take this off and move it. And on the back, I also made this fan that tucks in the back, and we'll go through that. So I just wanted to show you this. So this is what it looks like. So you can see all ruffly, and it just ties on. I'm going to set that aside. And what I did is I made a little fan to go with this journal. It just was fitting. And each of the fans have little pockets and ephemera inside the pockets. See? Little tiny ephemera. And all I did was shrink down her ephemera pages and with my printer and tucked them in there. And this wax seal, she's got free wax seals on her coffee shop, which I will link below because that's where you can get this kit. It's just a stunner. So more ephemera and ephemera, and I just made a bow and a little dangle with an Eiffel Tower. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard to get it because I kind of tucked it in there. And then on the back, these are journal spots. You can journal on the back of these. So that's the fan that goes with the journal. I'll set that aside. And then this is the journal. And what I did was used an Amazon package and I wrapped it in satin. And then I covered it in lace. And you can see some of the lace here. I put a little book plate with one of her words. Here's the lace and the satin. And this wasn't supposed to be the cover. I had planned on putting a big, huge dress form, and this was going to be the skirt. And this was supposed to go on the inside of the journal, and I set it on top of this the one day, and I said, wow, that looks really pretty. So I said, I think this has got to be the top. So in here, I just have little journal cards that I decorated. And they just slip in, it's several pockets. So this is the first pocket. And then this is the second pocket. And this is all ephemera or paper from her kit. And I just attached one of her roses on the top there. And this is another ephemera piece, so this all goes in the second pocket, because this can, once I get this back in, I'll open it up and show you the inside. And it just has a little magnet closure. So this is one of her ladies, and it's removable. And you can journal on the back. And then up here is another pocket with a lady. And a little journal card that you can journal on the back. Let's see if I can get her back in. I'm trying to do everything one-handed. I don't know why. So, and then it opens up like this. And here you have a lady, and I just put a piece of embossed rag paper in there, because somebody, whoever gets this, can use it in the journal somewhere. And it just tucks in like this. And I just added some laces on the ends of the trim, so it's layered. In this pocket, I just have a little scrappy pad that I made, and it's like a little belly band. And then up here, let me scooch it down, is a big tag and a medium-sized tag that fits up in here. And then you can close it all up. And then we'll go inside the journal. So inside the journal, the inside I used some vintage wallpaper and then did a lace little tuck spot, and I made a little charm using one of the images and some resin. And there's 2 little journal cards tucked in there. And I made a little wax seal. And it's just an old style letter fold that you can write on. And inside is an authentic cabinet card. And these kids' names are Sophia and Victor from 1882. So I just tucked that right in there. I just thought they were so cute. And I will put that back together in a minute. And I'm done with the video. So this is the first signature. There is 2 signatures in here. And this is just more of a decorative page because I couldn't cover this up. It is so pretty, so I just put a little trim on the edge. Same with this side. This is a receipt from 1890, I think 6. And I put a French little, I think it was like a, I don't know what it is. It's just like a label or something. One of those ruffled cake ephemera pieces. And it just tucks behind this little piece of lace. And I left this blank for journaling, writing space and writing space. And here I used one of the images and made a pocket. And inside the pocket, I have some French script writing, the little strip of dress ephemera that was in the little kit, and a tag that I just put, I used a bow and covered that up. So that all goes in there. On this side, I just have a little, it just tucks underneath that little lace there. And you could write on this paper with a darker pen. So I just kind of left that blank. Here I did another little belly band, and in there I have a rose from the kit, a little ephemera piece, French check, and a tag from the kit that I just used, what do you call it, the crinoline stuff from a dress, but it's real soft. I made a bow, and you can write on the back. And a letter from 1897, and I believe it is in French or German, I don't really know, but that all goes in that little pocket here, or not pocket, it's a belly band. There we go. And this is actually an envelope that I made out of the paper, and inside I printed the paper onto a vintage inventory slip that you can write on, and that just tucks right in here. And you have more writing space here. This is one of the tuck spots or belly bands you can use. And I just tucked in some of the ephemera from the kit. Except this one. This one I had. It just fit. So I put it in there. This is a document from 1804. It's authentic. And what I did was put a little rusted paper clip on it, put a little Paris ad, and one of the ephemera pieces and one of the fussy cut, which is the fan, and I just tuck that right in there. And I'm going to tuck this right like that. And I just added a little lace applique down here and a little piece of lace up there. On this side, there's the other side of the paper clip, and I just added some trim to the bottom of one of our journal cards and a little piece of lace at the top. On this page I did nothing because I just love that. That is so pretty with the ruffles and the pearls, and oh, I couldn't cover it. But however, I did make a pocket at the top that I put a tag in, and I love making overlays. So I made this overlay on acetate that goes over the top of, and this is from our paper. All I did was cut it and cut it into a tag shape and backed it with some cardstock, and you can journal on the back of that, and I'll just leave that out for right now. Okay, on this side I added some beautiful lace from Turkey, one of those ruffled cakes. I just love the ruffled cakes. A dress piece, a tag, a Paris tag that I had, and a vintage photo of a little girl and her mom. I thought that was so sweet. So that just tucks in here. On this side, I cut the paper around this ruffle to make like a really neat pocket, and I added a tag that I had. It is a French tag, and I just stick it right in there. And one of the ladies in the ephemera pieces, get her in there, get in there, there we go. And just added, and this is on I want to say parchment paper, but I think it's tracing paper that I dyed, but it could be parchment. I'm pretty sure it's parchment. So I just added trims and ruffles. And on this side I used one of the words at the bottom, and I folded it, the paper over, and made like a little pocket. And I have the little ruffled cake and a piece from the paper that I just kind of cut into a journal card and put some lace on. So these just tuck right in this little pocket at the bottom. This is a ledger page from 1901, and what I did is I made this little piece that goes over the top, front and back, and you can open it up and journal in it, and just put it right back over the top here, just like that. And the other side is blank. This is from her other kit, but we had done, we have a group, the Inspired Craft Room on Facebook, and Martha and I did a live craft and chat making little ephemera pieces out of cupcake liners. So I just used it as a little tuck spot. I put one of the dresses and one of the journal cards in here. And then on this side, another little pocket with the word, with Jolie, and journal card, and some of the paper that I turned into a big journal card. Backed it with some coffee dyed cardstock. Stuck it right in there. And then on this side, this is this big wide piece of lace. Huge. And I made with resin little dangles to hang off of the page with some little scrappy pieces of lace. And then this, I just did some collaging, and this is just on a regular piece of coffee dyed paper, and you can open it up and journal. And that goes right in that. And I have a German book page and a authentic change of address slip in there. And there's another pocket up on top with, let me flip it over, there we go, another page that I just couldn't cover, so I just made a regular tag out of one of the papers, backed it with some cardstock, and I did some stamping at the bottom, and that just tucks in above there. And this is the other half of that document, that French document, and I just have some little Paris ephemera and one of her ephemera pieces in there. And then on this side, same thing, one of her ephemera pieces and a little Paris ad. And this is a journal spot. This page is actually a cuff from a little girl's dress, and it was so cute I had to use it. So inside I have one of her ephemera pieces. I fussy cut out one of the ruffly cakes, and I have a French ad in there. And I have double trim on the edge of the pages. And then on this side, I just used one of her fussy cuts, and I made a tag, and I have a little like trim label from France, and one of the ephemera pieces. And you can journal on this. And here is tucked another ephemera piece. And on this side, if you take the paper clip off, this is the little journal fold cards that are in the kit. I'm just going to put that right back on there. There we go. Okay, and then on this side, I made a little pocket using a doily. And inside, I have a bunch of little ephemera pieces and a vintage ledger that's been coffee dyed, and that just fits right in this little pocket. And I decorated it. Well, you may have to get that one back in. There we go. That has just a little piece of satin, some lace, and one of the ephemera pieces from the kit. And beautiful lace on the edge of this paper, and you could journal up here if you wanted to. And then this is the end of the first signature, and we're on to the second signature. And this signature, I made a beautiful journal card out of some embossed paper, one of her labels, some satin sari silk, and some lace, and then just backed it with some cardstock so you could journal on it. And I just tuck it in this pocket, and there's a paper clip right here just to kind of hold it because it was sliding all over the place. There we go. And then on this side, oh, this is a French receipt from 1920 is what I used. And then on this side I have one of the ephemera pieces, and I added a little bit of applique and some lace and just stuck it under the paper clip. I made a little tuck spot that's a strip from the ephemera pages. Some ephemera. And I have a letter from the Palace Hotel, 1876. I think it's to like a judge. It says Honorable, I think it's Samuel Tilden. And that's tucked in here. Just like that. And this is just an ephemera piece that I just tucked, put some doily, paper doily on. Another envelope that I made, and this one, another inventory sheet that I just double-sided printed, and that's in here. And then on this side we have one of the word labels, and I just used it as a belly band, and I have ephemera pieces, a tag, another tag, a French tag, a little scrappy piece of paper, and that's a die cut that I used, and just a snippet from some French writing that I stuck in here, and that goes right in this if it wants to. There we go. There. And that has like a double trim on it. Another blank page, because you can journal on that and write on that. This I just collaged. It's music sheet that I just collaged, ripped some of the paper and put it on here, and used the rose fussy cut as a little tuck spot and added her in, and I just put a little applique on the corner there. And then on this page, it's one of the fussy cuts, and I put two of the images from the kit right up in here. And this page, of course, I left it blank because look at the gorgeous ruffles. But I do have a pocket at the top, and I did another overlay with acetate. This time I added a little lace here, and that's from the paper, and I just cut it out and made a tag, and that just slides right in the top, just like that. Oops. Come out. There we go. And then on this side, I have some beautiful lace from Turkey. And I fussy cut out the dress at the bottom here, just to hold them so they don't fall out the bottom. And I just have a French tag and one of the ephemera pieces just tucked right in there. And I left this blank. just added some ruffle. But on this side, I folded the paper over, made a little pocket, added some lace, and I have made a giant journal card with the paper from the collection and backed it with some cardstock. So that goes right in here. Add some appliques, a French postcard, and one of the ephemera pieces that tuck right in there. And this is another over-the-top piece that I made, and this is on a French receipt from 1896. I need to get in there. There we go. So this one is also double-sided, and I have a lot of lace hanging off, and it's made from the paper, and you can open it up and journal and then slip it back over the page, just like that. And then on this page, it's just parchment paper with a little, I folded it over, made a little pocket, used the paper and made a big giant journal card, applique and a little mulberry flower, and one of the journal, or the ephemera pieces from the collection, journal cards, whatever you want to call them. And that just tucks in here, I think. And in there. There we go. And then on this side, I did a big wide lace, and I tucked in another one of these collage pieces of paper that you can journal on, and it's just kind of cut into a tag shape. I have a German book page and a French book page, a little tiny one, and that's all tucked in this little pocket or side tuck. And on here is another one of those resin charms I made with the image from her collection. I just shrunk it down and saw a whole bunch of lace snippets. And on this side, I left it blank because look at how gorgeous this is. And she is very chunky. She's got a lot going on. And inside I tucked a big giant tag that I made out of the paper. And I stamped on the back. And that just goes right back in this slot here. There we go. And I just left this music page blank. And here is one of her ephemera pieces that I put lace on. I put a piece of, I think it was from like a doily or a tablecloth that I just cut a section out and just added this to it. And inside is a photo of three ladies, a vintage photo, and a vintage receipt that I stamped on some coffee dyed paper. And I just stuck it in here. Although they'll get in there. There we go. Another blank page because it was light enough to write on. And this page was left blank too. Just some lace trim. Some coffee dyed paper. And this was one of the coffee filter belly bands I had made in our live together. So I thought it appropriate to put it in the book. And that's one of her ephemeras, the ruffled cakes that I absolutely love, and a French ad. I just tucked it right in there. And I don't know what the date is on this, but this is a French receipt also. And then on here, on this last page, I made a little pocket out of an envelope. Put one of the little images here. This is one of her free wax seals on her coffee shop. Some pearls, some lace, and inside, let me see if I can get it out. Come out. Well, it would be nice if I was holding on to the tag and not the back of this. So you can see I made like a little back. You could fold it over, but I didn't. I kind of wanted this lace to stick out, so this is some of her paper, and all I did was stamped and embossed this scroll. I don't know if you can see that. And it's with the pearl embossing powder. And that just fits right in there. And we just paper clip it in there so it doesn't move. And this is the last page. And then I just made a little tuck spot on the back inside. And inside I have a French seal and just a little journal card that I had. So that is the end of the Soufflé De Dentelle. Oh my goodness. For some reason I lost my ability to speak. Journal. And this will be up in my coffee shop. And I'll put the link below when it's available. I haven't listed it yet. And I will be back with more projects now that I have a spare room and I set up a table for me to do recordings, so it's nice and quiet. So now I can come up here and do some projects with you guys. I hope to see you soon, and thank you for watching. Take care.